We're working. We're in the lab, and we're gonna make sure this happens as soon as possible.
Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
We're back, ITL back in regular standing. We got a full crew here today, and I am very excited. Week 10 NFL action. Couldn't be any more down to be a Cowboys fan, but you still got the Texans, so can't complain too much. Tonight's episode brought to you by Blue Collar Media Group. Hashtag What's in Your DNA, the Sport Gene sports division of Blue Collar Media Group. If you want to join today, you can reach out to any of us on screen. That includes Chris Conner with the Last Call podcast, Plus Walker, Chris Borek, and just Luke. Let's go around the room. The man leading the charge this year for ITL Pick'em. That's right, my co-host for season number 6, Chris Borek. Chris Borek, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Welcome to week 10. Time to get serious in the NFL. Glad to be back.
That's right. Borek leading with a charge. Borek leading with 89 wins on the year. And we'll show some awesome graphics with our posts, and we'll show our last 2 weeks. I know we had the panel here in San Antonio where we were all in front of you, and then we had a bye week last week. We kept picks going, though, so we'll keep you posted and where we're at for the year. Borak's going to keep me honest this year. We're going to keep you guys in the loop because we're having a really good season. Just Luke, you're back at home, feeling good?
Yeah, back home. Enjoyed some time with the fam out there. Saw my first NBA game. Didn't want to come home, but that's okay. Obviously on a bye last week, so it was nice. I've got to get more consistent. So if you want to clip this, Mark, I will be more consistent for the rest of the year with my picks. And then we can just kind of go from there. Because I feel like this is about the time of year where I'm like, oh, I probably should actually send my picks to Ernest. So this is where I usually pick it up. So I think we'll begin.
I will say this, Luke, every year you have the best percentage, but you have the least amount of weeks played. Like, if you just put together a season.
Every time.
That's okay. That's okay. We love you to death. And I saved him best for last, but Chris Call with the Last Call podcast here joining us again on ITL. One of these days, Chris, we're going to get you that beautiful smile.
And I'll say this. No matter if the selection is over, no matter who you voted for, but good news is no more robocalls, no more people begging us for money, no more people asking us for donations. It's over. All four of us, no matter what we feel, can agree that's the best part about the election being over.
Yeah, I definitely am glad there's no more robocalls, and I didn't put Luke's banner on there, so Luke, just so everybody can find you and follow you if you're following along today. I know Thursday Night Football, tons of other podcasts going on right now, but Thursday nights tend to be our best nights, so hopefully more people jumping in with us and having some fun today. All you avid watchers and continued listeners, we appreciate the hell out of you. Let's move on to football and talk what's going on right now. ITL Primetime Pick'em brought to you right now from Taquito Express. Taquito Express, still a long-time 6-season sponsor of ITL. Part of our season giveaway, also, we'll be donating toys to different orphanages around the city of San Antonio. Taquito Express is pairing with us, matching dollar for dollar on different toys. So go check them out in Deep South, Rio Grande Valley. Taquito Express, use code ITL today for 10% off. We go ITL Primetime Pick'em, and for me, it's a shocker, but we're going to talk Thursday Night Football. All right, somebody keep me honest if you can't hear my sound well. I heard we're having some technical glitches. Looks like we have the nods. Thursday Night Football, Baltimore opened up as 6-point favorites in this game. Davis Cordova, if you follow Davis's picks, picked Baltimore to win this game. I had Baltimore -6, and Borak had them as well, but they are down 21-7 with the ball halfway through the third quarter. Luke, this is your division. I'll have you start. The Crown Royal uniform's not working for Baltimore right now. What's going on?
Man, that secondary is just getting torched. Kyle Hamilton went out early with an ankle injury, and you could tell the communication on the back end is just not good. Joe Burrow looks like Joe Shiesty so far, the Joe we've been waiting for in this division. So that's a huge problem, and the Ravens are in trouble, man. I mean, dropping this game to them, the Bengals go to 5-5, one up in the division. I mean, that's tough.
There's a turnover. Baltimore gets the ball back.
So, I mean, they can't. The biggest thing is they can't panic. No Isaiah Likely for the Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry loves the second half of football games, so you have to get him involved more. Right now, I think he only has 8 carries. I think, 8 carries for 28 yards. So you got to get him going. And honestly, Zay Flowers needs to get going too. I mean, he is an absolute weapon in this offense when used correctly and when his head is in the game. Without Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, we have a Mark Andrews sighting anyways, at least. So, but it's a good look for the Bengals, but the Ravens, I mean, dropping this one put you at 6-4 and down in the division. That's tough.
Yeah, Baltimore did get a turnover, so they got the ball back and on cue. Flowers getting the ball, but Borak, you and I thought Baltimore would run away with this game. Personally, that was actually Rashad Bateman. Your thoughts, though, Baltimore early on?
Well, I thought it would be close. I didn't think they would run away with it, but I did think Baltimore would win. I think Cincinnati's doing a great job of controlling Lamar. He's not able to get out and run. And they didn't use Derrick Henry much in the first half, which is I don't know if the Ravens have an identity crisis right now in this game, but they're trying to throw the ball all around the field like their air raid offense. And really their strength is Lamar and Derrick Henry on the ground. Like, you can't control both of them.
That's the thing about teams that like to run and control the line, is that if they get behind in games, you get a little exploited. It looks like they're sticking to the ground here, so this drive might prove fruitful. Chris Connery, you said this is the Ravens' kind of trap game here, right? When we were initially talking, what are you seeing right now from the Ravens, and are they the potential pretenders of the AFC?
I could see them not making the playoffs if they lose this game. I mean, you start looking at their schedule; it's not an easy one. All of a sudden, you get 2 games versus Pittsburgh. You got to go away at the chart. Go a Saturday night game. Sorry, Monday Night Football game. You got Philadelphia. You got the Giants. You got Houston. This is not. I mean, if we could see them go like 9-8, 10-7, and miss it just because they lose to, like, Cleveland again, Giants again, and you're sitting there like, how? This is a Jekyll and Hyde team. I do not understand them. They are just a stupid team when I think of it. Everything they should do, they don't, and you just look and go, they're just a stupid team.
What? What?
We just called the second best team in the AFC. They're not going to make the playoffs now. Like, that's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction.
I like the hot take, because we'll clip that and just post it later.
Please clip that.
Denise Nuncio coming out, longtime friend of the show. Hello, Denise. Great to see you again. Appreciate your support again. Shares, comments go a huge way for us. Again, if you have technical difficulties, don't turn off that the feed. We're still here. I don't know if it's just us in the studio or if it's just happening everywhere, but we know Borak had some technical difficulties. Chris Conner now had a little bit of a fuzziness there, but stay with us. The game's going. Henry gets his touchdown. Anytime touchdown going Henry's way was one of the prop bets for the night. Excited to see this game come down the wire. I'd like to see a close game. I personally thought Baltimore might run away with this. I thought at home, division game, frosted tips, Joe Burrow probably won't do well on the road against these debut helmets. I thought everything was going Baltimore's way, but I guess that's Vegas for you. And so here we are. Let's talk about some games, though, that have not happened or are not happening and go primetime pick them. For those of you who follow along, get those pencils ready, get those fingers ready. You know what time it is here for ITL primetime pick them. We start off Sunday morning football. I believe it's Germany this week. New York Giants, 6.5-point favorites on the virtual road of Carolina and Germany. This happened in London too, where they had the bottom two teams in the NFL debut in London, and Germany gets a shot of two just juggernaut teams in the Giants and the Panthers this week. Borak, your ITL pick'em leader at 89 wins. Go ahead and start us off.
What did Germany do to deserve this game?
We know what they did. Okay, Borak. Okay,
that was a long time ago, Luke. Come on.
Hey, have I told you guys my joke? No, I'm just kidding. I can't.
Yeah. How do you buy into the Panthers at this point? They are just a dumpster fire. And not to make things worse, they give Chuba Hubbard an extension. And meanwhile, they owe Miles Sanders still a boatload of money. So you've got money invested in Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard, and now Jonathan Brooks. This team is so poorly ran organizationally. It's ridiculous. So I just like the Giants to roll here. I'm not going to take them to cover 6.5 points, but the Giants are going to do enough to steamroll them, and their defense is good enough to put pressure on Dalton all day long. So give me the Giants to cover the money line easy.
There you go. Giants money line starts us off on ITL primetime pick them. Again, if you're in the chat, you want to post your picks, post them. We'd love to see them. We like to compare them to the chat. Also, hit that share button, hit the comments, helps us with our presence, especially on a slow Thursday night. Luke, I'm going to have you go next on this game. Just Luke, trending nicely this season. I like to talk your percentages quite a bit, Luke, because you have 44 wins here for the year. Doesn't mean you're 40 games worse than Borak. It just means you've probably played 80 games less than him this year, and that's where you're at.
Yeah.
What's his percentage? I want to see those percentages.
Luke right now is 44-25 for the year. So he's betting. He's actually right around 66% for his bets, which is not terrible. Actually, Borak, you're right at par with that. So you guys are leading at 66.29% each for the season. So, Luke, if you were actually playing weekly like you would be, you'd probably be tied for leader right now.
I don't know about that. You got to shut up, Luke.
Listen, all I know is the Carolina Panthers have to be so frustrated. Stop winning. Stop winning. They've done everything in their power to just not win. And the Saints were like, no, but you deserve this win. You go ahead and win this game. So give me the Giants. But I really hate to say 6.5 is a lot. That's crazy. But I'm Daniel Jones. Oh god. I mean, the Giants are winning. 6.5. I don't know. So we'll just say money line, just for the sake of it. Because I just don't trust Daniel Jones anyways. So
2 early morning Giant money line picks on ITL, and Chris Connor, I'll put you in this position just to see where you're going to go with it. What do you have for this crazy game?
Carolina Panthers. This is going to be the game. Mark my words. Mark it down. This is the game that is the end of Daniel Jones. He's going to picks like he does. He will drive Brian Daboll crazy. They will bench him for the rest of the year. So afterwards, they can move on from him in the offseason. Daboll can get a quarterback that he does not want to kill every time he looks on the field.
I semi-agree with you, but I am pushing Giants money line for this game. I'm putting money on Carolina plus 6.5 in this game. So where my money will ride will be with the spread Carolina's way. Because if they do, our favorite Saints fuck around and find out, then they could win this game because the Giants are not very good. The Giants are a terrible team. I would rather Danny Two Nichols lose his job in the States, and I'd like to see him do it in a Dallas game, but we'll see. And we'll cue our favorite video.
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Have you guys watched the Panthers defense? Like, it's awful.
It is terrible.
Yeah, we have. But have you watched Danny Nichols, or as I call him, Danny Pennies? He's no longer.
I understand that, but he can do enough to move the football. And Tyrone Tracy, they can run the ball on the Panthers. They can control this game. Come on, guys.
I saw the craziest fact or stat, whatever you want to call it, that Patrick Mahomes won 2 Super Bowls before he threw 2 touchdown passes at home. It's crazy.
That honestly is probably true.
Okay, don't make me bust out Carolina Panthers facts. I mean, come on.
Hey, we saved the parlay, Borak. Just let it lie. Let it lie.
Right. I am public awareness warning. Do not put your faith or money in the Carolina Panthers.
Just
you're putting your faith in Danny Pennies.
Pennies
Jones.
We got to shift to the ITL game of the week. Come on now. We got a moment of silence. Why did they not flex this game out of the game of the week? I have no idea. Philadelphia, 7.5-point favorites on the road, traveling to the winless at home Dallas Cowboys. Cooper Rush at the helm. CD probably will play. Micah Parsons making a comeback. Deron Bland may play. Doesn't really matter. Here we are, Cowboys fans. This is where we're at. We'll start this one off with you, Chris Connor.
I have good news and I have bad news. Bad news, this is going to be an awful game. Cowboys are going to get slaughtered. Just Cooper Rush is the quarterback. The offensive line is terrible. They have the running game. That's the bad news. The good news, this is the start. I was thinking about this year. The last time we Cowboys were in this year, it was a Dave Campbell era. So this is where it's going to start. It's MCGA. Make the Cowboys great again. Bring Bill Belichick in. You bring in, dare I say, Josh McDaniels to run the offense. 2026, Ernest, I'm guaranteeing here. Cowboys, Chiefs, Super Bowl. You and Borak will be in the skybox with Jerry Jones and President Donald Trump. Make the Cowboys great again. Bring Bill in.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I know you're pushing for it. We're going to clip every single one of these and go through the chapters of these as we shift. McCarthy's job still, for some reason, seems secure with Jerry Jones. I don't know what he has on him. Just Luke.
He's going to be gone at the end of the season. So this is my plea to Jerry Jones. If you are listening, 5-step plan. Bill, Josh McDaniels, Ernest and Bill for a Tuesday night show. Get out of Bill's way, and then the 5-step for the Super Bowl. And it'll be Ernest and Borak in the box seats with you, with Trump, and with Jerry. Make the Cowboys great again.
Oh my gosh. Just Luke.
I'm not gonna watch this game. So we'll just start there. Thank God you traded a draft pick away for a fifth round receiver. Needed that.
Hey, that's Mr. Mingo to you.
Mr. Mingo that now is only going to be there for 2 years when you could have just drafted a guy with the pick and he'd been there for 5 years for cheaper. But hey, but what do I know? I'm not Jerry Jones, you know. But hey, I don't know why they just don't throw Trey Lance in there at this point. Like, why not? You know what you get with Cooper Rush. Like,
who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Like, are you trying to win games? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, if you're not, then throw Trey out there. Like, fuck it. Who cares? Right. But I have the Eagles. Eagles money line. Divisional game. I don't fuck around with it. It is what it is. So I'll take the Eagles.
Just the money line, you said?
Yeah, just money line. Yeah.
All right. Philly money line is now on the ITL or the BCMG possible guarantee. Chris Borak.
The good news, Cowboys fans, this is a huge upgrade at quarterback. So you guys are going to do much better this week. The bad news is you're playing the Eagles, which is going to be a long day because you guys can't stop the run. Saquon is probably going to run for 150 yards this game. But the Eagles will not cover because the Eagles never cover. Nick Sirianni is one of the worst coaches in the NFL. He gives away points at every chance he can get. He will leave field goal points on the board. He will leave extra points on the board. Never bet the Eagles to cover. So I do think the Cowboys are going to keep this close because it's a divisional game, and they're just not going to roll over. I do think this locker room is going to rally behind Cooper Rush because they don't like Dak. He is not a leader in this locker room, and if you think he is, you're crazy. I'm sorry, Ernest. You see CD calling him out on the sideline week after week. So I think they're going to rally behind Cooper Rush and have a little momentum here. And it's a divisional game. So I like the Eagles to win, but I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Borak, I'm surprisingly not far off from your take. I feel like when I watch this game Sunday, it's going to be a little bit of this on the sideline.
Let's do it, guys. Right. It's morphin' time.
We're going to get the Power Rangers out there. And then here comes the Dallas Cowboys that we all thought and saw because Cooper Rush keeps it one-dimensional and we're not expecting him to do extra and he's not audibling things and he's not terrible at his job. Like, that's just what's going to happen. And you're going to have – you could even have the Cowboys covering first half actually money line on this. I think Cowboys might be winning at halftime in this game. I think there will be some newfound energy. Sometimes the best thing for teams is addition by subtraction. And – we paid Dak Prescott. I don't know if Dak was fully healthy. I'm not going to say he's not the leader of the team, but I am going to say that I think this season in this offensive scheme with how he's played, something is not right. It's not clicking. Him and CD are not clicking, and it's just been bad from day one. And this is just, I don't know if it's the contract disputes through the offseason and there was just no time for him to get right, or if he did get hurt and it was covered up. I don't know. But something's just not been right with him all year. And you even had Jerry saying stuff like, we don't want him to run. I don't know what owner or GM should be coming out and saying, we don't want our quarterback to run. And now he has a hamstring injury and it's torn. Like, I don't know if there was something hidden from all this and they were trying to salvage the season. So now we have this whole dilemma now and Cooper Rush comes out. Now we all forget Cooper Rush came out. He beat the Vikings on Halloween last year and he looked really good as a starting quarterback. And there was rumors that he was going to be wanted come free agent deadline. I'm sorry, the trade deadline. So newfound energy. I don't know if they could put 4 quarters together with how bad the defense has been this year. So I was just going to take Dallas +7 in this game. But because Borak believes Cooper Rush also will have a good game, fuck it. Dallas money line, my last time taking them this year, they lose again. This is
Clip it.
You can't
Clip it.
Luke, they're in denial. I understand this. Look, let me help you, Ernest. Just stay with me. It's time. Blow it up. Bring in Bill. In Bill we trust. Let's cook. Make the Cowboys great again. You deserve it. As a little kid, you watched as the Cowboys had a Super Bowl championship, and you probably told your dad, "We're gonna have to have this every year," and you haven't had that. I feel bad. I personally feel bad.
This will be me next week. I promise you guys. This will be me next week, guaranteed.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That's too
I like it. Bold take. I like it.
That's Jerry Jones yelling at you too, by the way.
That's it. I'm not gonna do it. We did get a great comment. Anna is in the comments asking, Ola, is Facebook the best platform to watch you guys on? What a great. There's Luke. Luke saying hi to his number one fan. Great comment. So for those of you who are listening or those of you who are watching, you can watch us on any platform. Twitter, we have a live feed going where people are in there commenting or they're in there watching in the space. So you can go into a space and go in there with people in live commenting. We don't get to see that on this platform, so we don't get to see all the live interaction. I kind of watch it on my phone on the side. And then on Twitch, you can catch us on Twitch at The Sport Gene, or you can catch us on YouTube. And some weeks, depending on the games that are happening, we put us on Instagram as well. And that's really all of them. LinkedIn has a stream from my professional feed for those who follow just my personal profile on LinkedIn from my work. We do go live there as the Ravens have broken this game into a tie.
It up.
So thanks, Anna, for the quick ad there, and getting me off my soapbox for the Dallas Cowboys. But again, game of the week was not flex. Eagles Cowboys, I guess just because of the teams, they're going to keep them in that primetime spot. And that takes us to Sunday Night Football, which is going to be a much better game. Just a lot of worries on the Houston side of things, especially with protecting CJ Stroud. Sunday Night Football has a couple of juggernauts. Detroit Lions, 3.5-point favorites on the road. We know Nico Collins will not be playing this week still, right, Borek? He's coming back next week?
We'll find out tomorrow. He didn't practice all week this week yet. So he's eligible to return from IR, but if he doesn't practice tomorrow, he's not playing.
Completely agree. And we, as far as the Houston Texans, no shoring up of the offensive line. They got a cup. They tried out Lyle Collins. I don't think they signed him though, and they signed a practice squad member of the Patriots, and then they did make a small trade to bring in a backup swing guard. Is that correct? Am I not saying that right?
No, they traded away a defensive tackle.
Oh, that's right.
Who was going to be cut, but
so here we go. Texans don't shore up that offensive line. And the defense stays the same. There were some rumors of Will Anderson going to be out for the season, and that was put to bed. I don't know why they were floating those rumors around. And so here we are now. Texans at home, underdogs against the Lions, who have looked pretty great this year. Borek, it's your team. I'll let you start on this one, and then I'll spread the love for the next couple games to the other guys. How do you see your team doing?
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in Nick Caserio not making any moves to do anything about the interior line. Yeah, the right and left guard have been atrocious for us. Drew Scruggs at the center has been terrible. So they're going to try to patchwork it. They signed a bunch of journeymen to practice squad and to the reserves. I don't know how they're going to fix this, and they got to fix it if they want to be contenders in the AFC. Nico not practicing really scares me. This team is not going to be able to move the football the same way they can at an elite level without Nico Collins. I'm worried. I'm really worried about CJ Stroud staying healthy. I'm just worried. And you got the Lions coming down playing some of the best football in the NFL. Will Anderson hasn't practiced all week. He's probably not going to play this week. They're probably going to keep him out and be careful with him. Aziz Al-Shair is probably going to be back, and Jimmy Ward. So I think the Texans are going to be competitive, but I do not think they're going to win this game. I don't think they're going to cover either. I think this is going to get away from them late. The Lions are just going to be able to pound the ball at the end of the game. And I don't think the Texans are going to be able to put up enough points to stay with the Lions. I do think the Texans defense will be able to slow them down. So if you're betting anything, I would bet for the Texans to cover the first half. But for the full game, I'm taking the Detroit Lions to cover 3.5.
What jerseys are the Texans wearing this weekend?
They're wearing the battle red jerseys. So the first time this year, they're wearing their new red jerseys.
Oh, man,
so
that's tough.
if you have fantasy football, lock and load Tank Dell. He's going to be busy all night long.
Absolutely. Okay, there you go. Detroit minus 3.5 is the first pick. Chris Connor.
Detroit. Look, this is just a bad game for Houston. As you said, the offensive line is in shambles. Secondary's useless at this point. If you put Jalen Petrie out, any half decent offense is going to find somebody they can put up against him, and he can't cover. I mean, when Drake May is throwing bombs against Petrie, you know it's bad. We saw what Aaron Rodgers did and picked on him that game. That's bad. I could see this getting away quickly because, and look, I get it. That second round pick you wanted was going to be for Diggs. Unfortunately, he's now out of the year. This is not the year for the Texans. Unfortunately, they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll win maybe the first round, but they're going to overhaul the interior line. They're going to overhaul the secondary because the safeties are just hot garbage.
I completely disagree with that. The secondary for the Texans has been really good this year. Kamari Lassiter is one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, cornerbacks are fine. Safeties are horrible.
Yeah, Petrie is not a nickel corner, and that's not how they play him. So they use him as a middle linebacker.
they still find ways to beat him, though. That's the problem. He's been him, Murray. It's been just like every week. It's like, oh crap, they've given up another big play. They've given up a big play. I mean, I get it. You instead of taking a safety, you wanted Stephon Diggs, but
I completely disagree. The defense is not why the Texans are losing games. Like two great teams, by the way. I mean, they lost to the Vikings, they lost to the Packers, both on the road. The defense is not why they're losing. It's the offense. They can't score points.
The line. Yeah, it's the line. The offensive line. Just to clarify, like it's just been god awful. Penalties and I mean, if you look at some of the stats here, right? CJ Proud was under duress 72.1% of the time against the Jets. Like that,
ridiculous.
That can't happen. That can't happen, right? And less than 3 seconds. He had 2.8 seconds before he had to scramble on average. Like that is, God. That's like it reminds me of that Bears play where the Bears all fell down and they let everybody into the backfield to goal, and that's basically been CJ Stroud the last 3 weeks.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm gonna get my pick before we go on to Luke. I agree with both guys. I do think Detroit minus 3.5 is the play here for Sunday Night Football. I'm hoping Houston Battle Red proves me wrong, but Houston more times than not has proven me right. And when I think about the matchup and the predictions, there's no Aiden Hutchinson for Detroit in this game. I don't think it matters though. There have been other guys stepping up on the Detroit line, and in order for Houston to win this game and keep it close, if you're really wanting to risk that bet, Houston will have to be able to run the ball, pace the clock, and keep the score low. But Detroit's offense has been very good about controlling pace and been outstanding controlling the lines on both sides of the ball. It'll be tough for Houston to beat this team. So we'll have to see. Luke, you're the last pick here. Are we going to have our first BCMG guarantee?
Yeah, we are. I just want to echo the sack situation, right? So the interior of that line's given up 18 sacks in 9 games. In total, 31 sacks so far this year in 9 games. That's bad. That's bad. Even for the lame duck person that doesn't watch football, that's bad. 31 sacks in 9 games is not a good stat line. Obviously, they're dealing with a lot of injuries at the wide receiver position. That hurts. Doesn't help. But it also doesn't help when you can't get the ball out. So they have to start getting around this more. They have to start short screens. They've got to get the ball on the outside more, extend the run game, get Joe involved. The problem is that they're going against an absolute buzzsaw right now. And that buzzsaw just added Zadarius Smith. So that it's not a huge addition, but it's a great acquisition by the Detroit Lions. He doesn't fill Aiden's spot, but that is a solid rotational piece to throw in there to have Zadarius Smith on that defensive line. So that's a huge pickup by Detroit. So I mean, I have Detroit winning. I think they win by a touchdown, and I think I'm pretty confident in that.
Love that. Wave those fingers in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. We got our first BCMG guarantee.
Hey, just one more.
Sorry. Go ahead.
If you're gonna bet this game and you like the Lions, I would lock it in now, because once that Nico Collins news comes out tomorrow, like if he doesn't practice, I think this spread is gonna shoot up.
Agree. 100%. 100%. We go to our final primetime pick'em game. If you've been with us this far, we appreciate you. Before we go into fire round picks, and your pens have been pretty cold here. We're going to go to Monday Night Football. Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Rams, 1-point favorites at home. Tua playing in this game. Matthew Stafford playing this game. Rams back and powered up. Dolphins back and powered up. Some comeback stories here. Chris Connor, you get the game. Who's going in?
It's a tough game because you're not sure how beat up the Rams are. You're not sure how Miami's defense can stop anybody. Give me the Rams just because it's in LA, and I don't like East Coast teams traveling to the West Coast.
All right, Rams get the first pick here on ITL. Just so everybody knows, the Rams started off 2.5-point favorites, so the bets have gone towards Miami this week, trending that way. Just Luke?
I'm just picking this just because East Coast, West Coast travel. Never liked it to begin with. The problem is find Jalen Waddle, man. Where's Jalen Waddle at? Where's Tyreek at? Like, it's week 9. Neither one of them have 500 yards. Neither one of them. They both have 1 touchdown apiece. Like, this offense, to say stagnant would be an understatement right now. Mike McDaniel, you're on the hot seat, bud. Like, you wanted Tua back. He's back. And the results aren't there. You've lost 2 games. I understand both by 1 score or less. I get it. But that's on the defensive side of the ball too. Like, you can't keep the ball on the field and score, and you can't stop anybody on the other side. You're not going to win a lot of football games that way. So give me the Rams. Even because I think Naku is going to play. I don't think he's suspended. So with them the way they are, and Kyron Williams, my running back, my boy for the year. I think he has a great game this go around. So give me the Rams, and I think they win pretty easily. Honestly, I think it's a touchdown game.
2 big heavy favorites for the Rams at -1. Chris Borak.
Yeah, I really like the Rams in the spot. I like them to cover. I mean, it's 1 point right now, so whatever. But the Rams are getting healthy at the right time. I don't think Puka's going to be suspended. He's supposed to play, and he's healthy, which is important. With a healthy Puka, that offense goes to another level, and Kyron really gets running lanes. And I think that's going to free up Cooper Kupp having Puka on the field. The Dolphins are just a mess, just like Luke said, and their defense is even worse than their offense. So if you're going to tell me that the Dolphins aren't going to put up points and they're not going to have their air raid offense and they're just not gelling, I don't know what's going on with it, but I agree. Mike McDaniel is in a world of hurt right now with the amount of salary that's on that team. So give me the Rams. I'm very confident in this pick.
Rams, Cowboys, Spider-Man meme. That's what it is. That's who they are to each other.
I just want to push back quickly. I don't blame McDaniel. I blame Chris Greer in terms of he let the defense, get basically ruined. You let Christian Watkins go in free agency. He didn't have an answer for a backup quarterback, and then Skylar Thompson basically crapped his pants for 6 weeks, and Snoop came on, which that was a disaster. They've never, fixed the defense. Both pass rushes are gone. Secondary, they gave up too much for Jalen Ramsey. I mean, this is – if you won't blame anybody, I wouldn't blame McDaniel. I'd blame Chris Greer for just screwing the defense up and making bad drafts.
And I you want to go in?
Go ahead.
And I understand where you're coming from, Chris Connor, but you drug Mike McDaniel out here to be this offensive guy, to put the points up, and he hasn't, right? You can say the Tua injury, right? But if you're the GM, you know what you have with Tua. He's going to play 10 to 12 games a year. That is what he is going to play. To not have even a serviceable backup, a guy that can 2-2, 3-1 in Tua's absence, is absolutely on their issue. Because I'm telling you right now, if I was the GM, I would have absolutely made the call to the Pittsburgh Steelers and said, one of those guys have to be a Miami Dolphin by the end of the day. You tell me which one it is. And it would have been an offer that you'd have been like, oh my God, what are the Dolphins doing? But I don't know what Tua's plan after the year is. So, I know he just signed that big deal, but that doesn't mean anything in the NFL. So this is an organizational fail down to the head coach. You're supposed to be scoring points. You're not scoring points, and you're giving up too many points.
Yeah, I couldn't agree.
You can't teach talent, and they don't have. They shouldn't have let Mike White walk. Instead, they said, "Oh, we trust Skylar Thompson," even though everybody knew Skylar Thompson could not play. I don't blame that on McDaniel. I blame that on Greer, who's been there now. This is his third coach.
Yeah, but that offense is.
You're in one of the most winnable divisions in football right now, and you're not even playing ball. That's an issue for me.
I mean, they did spend all the money and build the offense around Mike McDaniel's philosophy.
Yeah, it's a bad showing. Rams all the way. Rams -1. I'm so confident in this that this is going to hit, that this is actually a TSG guarantee, which is brand new to our show in terms of what are we doing. TSG guarantee, wave those fingers are waving like you just don't care. We say that you can actually buy up in this money line. I would actually go Rams -2.5 in this game. The original bet on this, cover the field goal. Personally, guys, any objection to that?
No, that's.
No.
I mean, personally, I think they win by 3.5. But
No, 2.5.
2.5. I completely understand with the field goal guard against it. We're good.
With that being said, we'll do a quick intermission. For those listening, you might get some tunes. For those watching, watch some of these football clips, video courtesy of Mark. It's rated Merc. We appreciate all he did. We had a great time with him in San Antonio last week, and let's cue it up for his football hype video that he made for us before the season even began, and we're going to talk fire round picks.
Caleb Williams, #1 overall pick. Jaden Daniels, Xavier Worthy, Daquan Barkley, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Dunze. Bears are trading for Keenan Allen.
The Ravens against the Chiefs. It's Packers Eagles. How about them apples?
7 hours of commercial-free football start now.
There we have it. Mark, we appreciate all that you do, Mark. Of course, we wouldn't be here without you, and you're a great piece of this show. At It's Rated Merc, if you want to go give him a follow on any of his social platforms, highly encourage it. He has great stuff every freaking week. All right, you know what the time it is? Round number 2, fire round picks. You'd think we'd jump right into it, but the first one already.
We already covered the Eagles and the Cowboys game.
New England at Chicago Bears. Bears 6-point favorites. I'm disregarding that. We'll strike that from the record for tonight's broadcast. Chicago 6-point favorites at home. Nobody's watching this game unless you're a Bears and Patriots fan. Let's go around the room, make it quick. Chicago's my pick. Borak.
The Bears, they get right.
Luke.
Bears money line.
Chris Connor.
Bears. Start Caleb Williams in your fantasy league. He's going to put up major points.
There you go. Chicago Bears. Wave those fingers in there, wave them like you just don't care. Hits the BCMG guarantee. There we go. We move on. Fire round pick 'em. If you're not familiar, we go right through all of these games. Let's move on. Buffalo at Indianapolis. Buffalo 4-point favorites on the road in Indy. Chris Borak, you're first.
I don't even think this is going to be close. I'm definitely taking the Bills, and I'm not going to cover a spread, but yeah, I think the Bills dominate this game. Colts are a mess. They're just not a good football team.
Yeah, I have the Bills. If your quarterback doesn't want to play for you, I'm not putting any money for you. Luke.
Bills.
Chris Connor.
Bills.
All right, you know what that means. Wave those fingers here. Wave them like you just don't care. You're going to get some of these already. There you go, BCMG guarantee. We now have Detroit -3.5, Los Angeles Rams -2.5, Chicago money line, Buffalo money line, and we go to the next game, Denver at Kansas City. Kansas City 7.5-point favorites. Anybody on this panel want to make a play for Denver or Denver plus 7.5? Very quiet. I'm going to take that as a sound for this. Kansas City money line. I gotta be
honest. I'm getting close. That spread is getting to the point where I want to take the points because Denver has a good defense.
And it's an AFC West game, so the Broncos are going to come out with piss and vinegar and go, you know what? We don't want to get embarrassed.
I'd say first half, whatever the first half is.
I locked in KC minus 5.5 when it opened, and it's gone 2 points up, which just me is trap all over it. That smells Vegas to me. That we're creeping up to Vegas numbers.
You got to Bo Nix at Arrowhead's asking a lot, and then we have a golden rule here on ITL. You don't bet against Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead.
That's right. We all know it. Chris Connor, any hesitation on pulling the trigger on 7.5 for you?
Yeah, look, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. I think there's a good chance they could go undefeated. Just this smells like a game where they end up winning by like 5, 6, maybe 4, because the Broncos hang around and just make some pesky plays, and all of a sudden you're looking, going, "Oh crap! What the hell do they do? How do they get involved in this game?"
I agree. I like Kansas City money line, and we already did the BCMG guarantee. Kansas City money line hits our parlay, and we move on. San Francisco 5-point favorites on the road. Christian McCaffrey, welcome to this season, making his debut. Will be on a limited snap count. And Jamar Chase just scores a massive touchdown. Holy and he hasn't gone in yet. He hasn't gone. He's out. Wow. Precious. Okay, San Francisco -5 at Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield looking for receivers, but has actually played well last week. Chris Connor, you go ahead and lead the call on this one.
49ers. No Evans, no Godwin. Yeah, I know I think they played over their heads against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs defense was missing some players. 49ers, I think they're gonna roll over Tampa Bay.
Chris Borak.
I'm not that confident, but I like the confidence from Chris Connor. They don't have Jalen McMillan either. He's still hurt with a hamstring injury, so they don't have their top 3 receivers. I just think that KC game was such a physical game. It just took so much out of them. Losing that on the road is just an emotional drain. And I just think they're going to be beat up from that game. And then you got a physical team from the 49ers coming in off a bye. I like the 49ers to win this game, but I do think it's going to be closer.
2 49ers picks, and I'll give my pick here. I have every intention to pick Tampa Bay, but man, the injuries just add up. And it is so tough to beat a team coming off a bye that has preparation time and coming back healthier. I'm going to go San Francisco on the road against my better judgment here. And this is a watch alert and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Luke, what is your pick for this game?
Everybody's going to be like, Luke, you didn't pick the East Coast team going to the West Coast. Why wouldn't you pick the West Coast team going to the East Coast? And I'm like, because honestly, I think losing that game in overtime, the extra time, just the look when the coin flip happened and Baker saw he lost, he was like, fuck. Like, we know how this story ends, which fast forward, we obviously knew how it ends. I understand Christian is going to be on a snap count, but they're going to send a message. It's time to wake up. This is a 49ers team that needs this game. And I think this is the game they're like, we still can do this, guys. Like, this division is winnable. Like, we're right in it. We just have to wake up. So I think this is the game they finally wake up. I'm not saying they're blowing them out. I'd say that they're going to come out early swinging. They go up maybe a quick 7, quick 10, and then they hold on. They cover the 5, but I think they hold on.
Now, this game is on watch alert. It is not a BCMG guarantee. Davis Cordova has chosen Tampa Bay to win this game off his picks, so it's not going to be a BCMG guarantee, but that is significant. As each of these weeks come up, the further the spread gets, Borak is trying to solidify himself on top of ITL Mount Rushmore here, right, for season number 6. And Davis and I are tied for 3rd. So as tied for 3rd, there's a pick for Lamar Jackson. Tied for 3rd, you have Kenny Cotterell catching up in 2nd place. And then you have Chris Borak at number 1. These games are huge. So you have one game now this week where Davis Cordova is choosing against the rest of us, similar to my Dallas pick, but we all know that wasn't as serious as that one is. Yeah. Let's move on. Fire round pick 'em Atlanta, 3.5-point favorites on the road against the Saints. Let's go around I'm getting the wave. Let's just do it anyways. Luke.
I mean, Atlanta's going to dog walk these clowns.
Falcons. Chris Connor.
Falcons.
There we go. 4 Falcons picks, and you can wave those fingers. They wave them like you just don't care. That is a BCMG guarantee.
I mean, you got Michael Thomas calling Derek Carr a clown this week. I mean, it's
Michael Thomas hates him more than I hate Brussels sprouts. I mean, that's hard hate.
It's bad.
Atlanta Falcons money line enters the BCMG guarantee. We'll have the odds at the end of tonight's episode. Pittsburgh at Washington is the next game. Washington 3-point favorites at home. Jaden Daniels playing magnificent this year. Luke, where are you going with this one?
Washington at home. The defense is going to make the plays that needs to happen. This offensive line for the Steelers has been makeshift all year, and they're going to get a reality check this weekend, especially on the road at Washington. This will be the first time they'll be facing a true dual threat quarterback in Jaden Daniels. So that's going to be tough for them, but this is going to be a reality check for them because we've got a long stretch of mobile quarterbacks coming down the road. All of our divisional games are coming up, not to mention playing Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Kansas City in under 10 days or 12 days, something like that, during the holiday season. So this is going to be a reality check for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they need it. So I'm taking Washington at home.
Commanders are the first pick here on ITL Fire Round Pick'em. Chris Borek.
Commanders. Jaden Daniels keeps rolling.
Chris Connor.
Commanders. Marshawn Lattimore going to that team. All of a sudden, you got to start talking. I can't believe I'm saying this. Washington, possible Super Bowl contender.
I'm not going to go that far. Washington definitely wins this game, though, and that adds another to the BCMG guarantee. I do love them, though, regular season. I think they're going to be a phenomenal team. Congrats to Dan Quinn and his new team. But wave those fingers in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. Washington Commanders. All right, let's talk about a struggling Minnesota team. 7-point favorites on the road against another struggling Jacksonville team. Around the room, Chris Connor.
Vikings. It's the Vikings defense and Brian Flores versus Mac Jones. Bet the farm on the Vikings with the points.
Chris Connor saying the points, too, on this one. So first pick is Vikings. Chris Borek.
Yeah, Jags are a joke. They're a fraud, like we have always been saying. Trevor Lawrence is good luck with that contract playing out. Jacksonville's in a world of hurt for a long time. Give me the Vikings to get right this week, and they're going to do some damage to the Jaguars offense.
2 Minnesota picks, and it goes to Luke.
Yeah, I mean, it's Minnesota. This is going to be one of those games where, like, no, these two teams are actually in the same league. Like, no, they do play in the NFL together. They're going to get it's not going to be pretty, but it's not a bad place to be if you're Minnesota. I mean, Jacksonville started November. I mean, I'd rather be in Jacksonville, Florida than here. You know, that's not a bad way to start November.
That is very true. Minnesota gets onto the BCMG guarantee, or is it going to be that is right, a TSG guarantee? Minnesota minus 6.5 is the play here. We're going to go outside money line minus 6.5 by a point down. Anybody disagree with that?
Nope.
No.
All right, Minnesota minus 6.5 enters the BCMG guarantee parlay, and we go to our final 2 games of the week. Tennessee Titans at the Chargers -7. Chargers very favorable schedule. Back to what Chris Connor said beginning of the year, that the Chargers will be a playoff team. Now might come to fruition. Herbert looking like a top 5 quarterback according to some analysts. I still have him top 10. Let's go around the room. I have Chargers winning money line. Luke.
Chargers money line. I'm really surprised I didn't make a move for at least a piece of a wide receiver, considering the market was
Mingo was there,
fifth round or lower. So I mean, but yeah, give me the Chargers.
2 Chargers picks. Chris Connor.
Chargers.
3 Chargers. Chris Borek.
I think the Chargers cover 6.5 easy. Chargers are the best defense in football right now. And then you got Herbert playing the way he has. I've been impressed with what he's done with that receiving core, honestly.
I've learned my lessons betting spreads against the Titans, so I'm going to take Chargers money line and not flex it, but I do appreciate the confidence. And for those who follow Borax picks, you'll be winning a lot of money this year, so you should take his word over mine. Chargers money line, though, does go on the BCMG guarantee. Your second to last possible. Wave your fingers in the air, wave them like you just don't care. BCMG guaranteed. Chargers money line. All right, our final topic and game, the Jets, 2-point favorites on the road against the Cardinals this week. Let's start this one off with the leader of ITL Season 6 NFL Pick'em, Chris Borak. Who do you have in this game?
I've got the Cardinals. I think the market is way overvalued on the Jets in this game. The Jets caught the Texans on a good scheduling spot, on a short week, on a injured team, and they look good at primetime, and now the market is giving them way too much respect. They are a mess, and Aaron Rodgers is not a good football player anymore. If it wasn't for 2 one-handed snags by Garrett Wilson being an unbelievable receiver, the Texans might have won that game. So I don't think they're going to go into Arizona where the Cardinals are playing really good football. Their defense is playing really good football. I don't believe the Jets can go in there, and I don't even think they should be the favorites. So I liked Arizona to win. Give me Arizona outright.
There you go, Arizona money line for this one, Luke.
This is why Vegas has those nice, big, shiny buildings built out there, is because games like this, I believe. Just because Devontae caught a touchdown from Aaron for the first time in 3 years, the world has exploded, and it's insane to me. Does no one forget this offensive line is poop? Like, one of the worst in the league. Like, what are we talking about here? Arizona's been my bugaboo all year, though. I feel like they are my boogeyman this year. But again, I'm contradicting myself again because the East Coast team is traveling to the West Coast, where they just had hail inside of the building. Yes, you're seeing that correctly. You're hearing me. They had hail inside the stadium last weekend. Fantastic. Fantastic. So good job on the crews out there for working the stadium. But I'll take the risk on Arizona. I mean, this week, who knows? They might pull it out. I don't know. I love the way James Conner's running the ball, by the way.
There you go, 2 Arizona picks now. Chris Conner.
You know what? I can't believe I'm saying this here. But all of a sudden, you look at the Cardinals and you're going, oh, crap. They actually might win this division. It's weird. I don't understand it. And somehow Marvin Harrison has given Kyler Murray, the fountain of youth. But I don't trust the Jets. Aaron Rodgers plays too many dink-a-doo games for me. So give me the Cardinals.
3 Cardinals picks. And you'd think I'd be a little bit more excited about it, but I am also going Cardinals on this game. I had Cardinals before. I should have gone first. I didn't seem like I was one of them sheep. But big game for ITL Pick'em. Davis Cordova has the Jets. So Davis Cordova takes the Jets. So 2 games.
Got him.
That's why he keeps losing every week.
Could be huge in swinging here on the ITL leaderboard. And guys, that is tonight's episode. If you are following along, if you're excited about what we have going on, the BCMG parlay is plus 39.75, 40-1 odds. If you place $10 today, that gives you about 400, like 397.50. Go put that bet in. I actually like this parlay this week. Let's go over it. Detroit minus 3.5, Los Angeles Rams minus 2.5, Minnesota Vikings minus 6.5. All money lines: Chicago, Buffalo, Kansas City, Atlanta, Washington, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Really heavy on teams that are traveling. And again, for those home teams, and it seems like some of the heavy point favorites are winning at the line for us. That's what we're trending. I like it this week, so go mark it in. We appreciate all your support. Let's do sign-offs around the room, and we hit that hour mark. Let's start with you, Chris Conner. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can check me out at lastcallpodcast.com. We just did an interview with Marcel Dorff on next week's big Texas-based Tyson versus Logan Paul fight. We also talked UFC and Conor McGregor's trial. And you can also check me out on X at Last Call with Chris C. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel. And guys, I always love being on the show. Thank you for having me. This has been a blast as always.
Awesome to have you, Chris. Connor, look forward to talking with you on your show in the near future and appreciate you as always. That's not all who is here. Just Luke, you are also here. Tell the people where they can find you.
Well, first, Ernest, I want to thank you. Obviously, opened up your house to me last 2 weeks ago. To me, obviously saw my first NBA game. That was incredible. Got to eat some good food. Meet the people that I entertain every other week when I decide to show up or make picks. So that was awesome. Met some fans of the show. Obviously met Borak in person. That was awesome. Met up with you and Mark. Saw Rachel and Londo. So it was well deserved, well needed time away. So I really thank you for that. The other thing I wanted to bring up is we don't get political on the show. We believe that this show is reserved for an hour to get away from the world for an hour. And with that being said, I heard that my message about suicide awareness is getting out there. And it made me feel really good. Just these little blurbs that I make once a week on a Wednesday or Thursday night actually are helping people, and that makes me feel good. Obviously, after the results of the election, I think we need to say that suicide awareness during election years is a big thing. I never realized how big of a thing it actually is until I started to look at the numbers today with suicides during an election year. It's kind of staggering. It really takes you back. So there are resources out there for every single one of you if you need to talk. Obviously, 811. Google suicide awareness. There are support groups. There are bots to talk to. There are the suicide hotline 811. Obviously, there are so many different resources, and my DMs are open on Twitter. Obviously, so with all that being said, just talk to somebody, man. It's not going to be the end. We're all here. If you need a place to escape, we're here on Wednesdays or Thursdays. And we always do try to let you know if the show's delayed. But we are here for an hour and 15 minutes every week during football season. So you can always escape with us. So Ernest, I appreciate it. And guys, that was a good show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Just Luke. Always love the PSA. It does so much for our following and close to home this week with all the latest news. Chris Borak, the leader of season 6. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Luke. Appreciate everybody joining us. Good luck to everybody with their fantasy football teams, with their football picks. And we appreciate you guys stopping by. Please like, comment, subscribe where you can. It really helps out the show. And we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chris Borak. And I am your host, Ernest Silva. Excited to be with you guys again. Catch us at The Sport Gene on Twitch or at Into Lab Pod on all social platforms or my own personal professional profile on LinkedIn. We appreciate the heck out of all of you. Our panel wouldn't exist without all of your following and support with all of our sponsors. Thank you to BCMG Taquito Express and SATX Rated for being longtime sponsors of the show. Guys, have a great night. Have a good fantasy football week, and good luck to you guys. And may your teams win this week. Good luck. Have a great one. Bye.